Hello, honey bunnies, and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about a lot of things. It's going to be mostly about my ancestors, but also about where I've been for the past month, because that's a hell of a story. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around. Let's hang out. Let's have a chat. So, first and foremost, I want to assure you that I had the best of intentions when starting this channel. I was going to make a video every week, and it was going to be great, and I did pretty good for 2 weeks, and then life happened, as it tends to do. We all know. But before we get into the actual content of today's video, I do want to talk about like where I've been, what's been going on, and something that's really like important to me. So let's get into it. So I live in northeastern Oklahoma, and like after posting my second video, I had high school graduation, which was one thing entirely. That was crazy. It was insane getting out of high school, just trying not to fail any of my classes. Like, it was great. Wild. Trying to get everything done that needed to be done before I could actually, you know, get that diploma, ladies and gents. But I made it through that, and then not even a week later, like well, maybe a week later, exactly a week later, actually, the entire, like, region flooded. It was crazy. It's insane, actually. It's way better now, but there's still a ton of, like, problems going on. So if you have any friends or family in northeastern or just eastern Oklahoma, because I know that, like, some more, like, mid to southeastern places and just all over Oklahoma really has been affected, but if you have any friends and family there, I mean, thoughts and prayers are definitely appreciated, but seriously, if you can help, if you can donate to the relief efforts, if you can, like, volunteer at, if you're somewhere near, if you can bring us, I know that, like, there are people who've lost everything. They've lost their entire houses. I have a friend, who had, like, family, and their entire house was underwater. They lived maybe 300 yards from the riverbank, and the river just consumed their house. There are people whose houses were literally washed away, and that's not even to mention the people's livelihoods. I know the entire town of Webbers Falls, Oklahoma, it was covered. It's insane. And if you can donate to any relief efforts here in Oklahoma, seriously, just give it a Google. Like, talk to the Red Cross, FEMA. I'm sure that they have a way that you can help. I've been volunteering because I live here, but we really need help. There are people really struggling, and there are, like, it's really heartbreaking. So just please help in any way that you can. Back to the witchcraft. So today we're going to be talking about ancestor altars, like different ways that you can work with them, why you might want to work with them, etc., etc., etc. So, first and foremost, let's talk about, what types of ancestors I work with, what types of ancestors can be worked with, and all of that fun jazz. So, types of ancestors. Contrary to popular belief, and this is actually one of the main reasons I find that a lot of people don't work with ancestors, they don't do any ancestor work. You don't have to just venerate your, like, familial ancestors. I know that I don't just venerate my familial ancestors, and we'll go over, like, exactly who I venerate over here, but there are, like, so many different ways that you can, like, celebrate those that have come before you, that have, like, contributed to your becoming the person the wonderful being that you are today. And you can celebrate any of those that you love that have passed on to the next world. My Ancestor Altar, it's on my windowsill. It's pretty small, but I really like it because it's in a good place to work on. But basically, what was I saying? My ancestor. Oh, it's not complete. It's not complete. I still have to print off a bunch of pictures. I still haven't like figured out who all I'm going to honor on this, but just a few of the I honor my familial ancestors. I already have something to represent one of my great-grandmothers that I'm named after, and I need to either find what I have already, or I don't actually know. It's a little ring, so there's really no telling where that is. I have something else that I'd like to put on that altar, just as kind of a spirit house for my mother's grandmother, who I'm named after. And it's just, I've been just collecting different things for a good while now, and it's a really interesting space, and it's been a really, really wonderful experience for me. So if you have family members like that you love and that you are that you were close to, like these two women, I met one of them. I met my grandmother Opal, and but I was very young when she died, but I loved her very much, and she's very important to me. But my Granny Rooster, I never knew her. She died way before I was born, but she's such a wonderful person, and she was such an integral part of who I am as a person, just through the people that she raised, the people that she made, and that she raised, and that she had an effect on, that I love her a lot, you know. She has really come through, you know. It's crazy. It really is. You will be very surprised if you start ancestor work. My expectations were kind of low, you know. I expected, you know, the basic signs and symbols, you know, all that good stuff, but what I got was an extremely powerful and deeply meaningful experience the other day. Just a couple days ago, I was having a really rough day. I was very emotional. It was a really hard day. Everything happened all at once, and I had the urge to listen to this song, The Green, Green Grass of Home by Elvis Presley, and I just held my Nanny Rooster's spirit house to my heart, and I listened to that song, and it was a really deeply touching experience. And it was one of those rare experiences that you have in witchcraft, where you really, or in just life, I guess. I don't know, I guess everyone has these experiences, but in witchcraft, where you really and truly feel the power that these things that we're doing hold. And I remember this story that my Nana, her daughter, my Nanny Rooster's daughter, would used to tell, and I don't know how I remembered this all of a sudden, but when I was younger, my Nana used to sing that song, The Green, Green Grass of Home, and she has a beautiful voice. And I said, Nanny, where'd you hear that? And she said, well, my mama, she used to sing that all the time. And she said she sounded nothing like Elvis, nothing. And I guess she was not known for her singing voice, but it was a really comforting and beautiful experience for me. So that's just one of the many reasons, when you're having rough times, your ancestors are there, and they're always there, and they're always there backing you up, but it's even more meaningful when you can have a physical representation of them. That way it's just easier for them to come into your life and just to come into your presence. so that's one of the reasons that I have this ancestor altar, because it's just easier for me to make a connection to my ancestors that way, and they're very important to me. So obviously I want to connect to them. But familial ancestors are only one type of ancestor that I venerate, and only one type of ancestor out of many. So we have ancestors of blood, we have those that like are familial ancestors, but there's also our like friend relationships, our friends that have passed, family friends that have passed, pets that have passed, those that were important to us and part of our family. Without that, like, that blood relationship, I mean, the blood of brotherhood is thicker than the water of the womb, and it's just, they are just as important, and they are just as present in my practice and in my experience, and they are just as present in my life, and that is a totally, like, reasonable way to venerate ancestors, to get into ancestor work. If you don't like your family, if your family's kind of shitty, I feel that. Some of my family's kind of shitty. Get after it. Your family friends, those that you loved, like if you had a favorite teacher that has like since passed on that was really important to you, or just anyone who was like integral in shaping you and making you who you were, they are part of your ancestors. They are part of your ancestry. And another thing is like, these I would almost classify, this type of ancestor, this next type, I would almost classify as the mighty dead. So the mighty dead, they are the extremely well-known and very powerful, almost deified ancestors that we have. And I know that in some cultures, ancestors can be deified, like familial ancestors can be deified and like reach that like level, but that's not really what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about like people, like if you are very active in the civil rights community, if you're very like, if you're just very affected by that community, maybe Rosa Parks would be one of your mighty dead, one of those. She is most certainly one of the mighty dead, but maybe she's someone that you would honor on your ancestor altar. Martin Luther King Jr. So many words there. One of the people that I honor, or one of the many people, is gosh, oh crap, I've just blanked. I'm sorry, I vapor locked. I can't remember names right now, but like queer icons, people, all those who were like part of the beginning of the gay rights movement. I cannot for the life of me remember her name right. Marsha P. Lewis. Marsha, pay it no mind. Lewis? Is it Lewis? Marsha P. If you're gay, if you're queer, if you know any queer history, you will know Marsha P. She was the one, it's said, that threw the shot glass heard around the world. And like all of those people who were part of the Stonewall riots, those are people that I like to honor on my ancestor altar. I actually only have one real like representation of the queer community on my altar right now, but I definitely want to get more in there. So other than like those like communities that you're a part of, like maybe, you know, just people that maybe aren't your direct relatives, but that have had a massive effect on your community and on one of the subcultures that you are part of, one of the communities that you're part of. Those can be people that you honor on your ancestor altar. And also, I like to honor deities, you know? Of course, don't we all? I mean, okay, that was stupid. Not all of us like to honor deities, but like, I have a representation of Cernunnos, the horned god, Gallic Celtic god, who is commonly referred to as a, what's it called? God of the wilderness, god of the wild things. And yes, that's definitely part of who I like experience him as, but also he was originally seen as like a psychopomp. He was a leader into the underworld. He leads spirits into the underworld after death, and he, for me, is the spirit that leads me through the spirit world whenever I cross the hedge and whenever I go, you know, like deep into trance work and all that. He's always been there. So he's there, and one of the, like, some of the figures that I want to represent on my altar as, like, ancestors, Baba Yaga, oh crap, I'm sorry, my brain's dumb, but just like, folklore figures, Mother Hulda, Baba Yaga, figures like that, those figures that, have shaped the image and the view and the practice of witchcraft throughout centuries. Maybe they weren't originally, like, maybe they weren't real people or real figures in history. Who knows? Who can say if they weren't, maybe they weren't even, like, but who can say where they originated? Who can say, where they truly began? If there was a real person named Baba Yaga, I'm sure there was, that's dumb, but, I'm dumb, not that's dumb. I don't know, I'm not dumb, I'm a smart person, I'm getting off track. Who knows where they came from? Who knows if they were based off of real people, if they were real people, whatever, who knows? But I still see them as, like, spirit ancestors. I see them as ancestors to my path, to my craft, and so that's another way that you can honor, the ancestors on an altar. So just really, the opportunities are endless on your altar. Just get after it, dude. Create the space, put whatever the fuck you want on it, and whatever you're drawn to, and then honor them. I light incense, I light candles, I meditate here, I write here in my Book of Shadows, or my grimoire, or whatever you want to call it. I make crafts here, I sit here and just sit and in their presence. I, like my bed, I'm sitting on my bed right now, my altar is right here in this bright shiny window, so I spend a lot of time here, and I love that. I love being close to my altar and being able to do what I want when I want at it, and it's not a hassle, because, like, it's just a thing. It's a whole thing. But, like, leave offerings there. That's one of the, there are so many ways that you can honor your ancestors at the altar. Really, the possibilities are endless. Just spend time there. Give them cookies. Give them crackers. Give them fruit. I give them coffee. I give them tea. Alcohol, if you can buy that. Don't get in trouble. If you are old enough to buy your own alcohol and you're like, it's not going to get you in any kind of trouble, totally cool. Tobacco, nasty habit, but good for vices. That's one of the big things in many ancestor altars. Food, vices, drinks, even just a cup of water. Maybe not, like, well, even this, like, if this is all you have, just a bottle of water, set that shit on the altar. Give it to them. They will be appreciative. Just tell them, hey, I made you this is for you, or I'm giving you this as, like, an offering, and they'll be like, cool, love that, we will take it. And that's all I'm saying, dude. Just do it. Like, that's one of the main things as I've gone through, like, studying more traditional witchcraft. One of the main things that I've really learned is that you just have to get out and you have to do it. Do the thing. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're afraid it won't work. Just go out and do it, because you'll never know until you do. Like, and you will have so many amazing experiences like that. Just get out there and do it. So I'm going to quit rambling. I'm going to quit talking now. Actually, that's a lie. I'm probably going to keep talking to you. But now we're going on to the part that everyone loves, the altar tour. So if you stuck around this long, here's your delayed gratification. We're going to the altar. Okay, so this is the altar. Sorry, my camera's shaky. I'm holding it. It's wild. So let's just get right into it. So as I said before, I mean, I have a plant up here, and I have this thing. I'm not really entirely sure what I'm going to do with it, but I felt like that was a good place for it, hanging from my curtain rod. Also, I have a plant. It's a lovely little succulent. And then down here, I have many different things. So, first off, I have this lovely candelabra. It has my candles in there. I use those for many different representations, many different things. And hanging from it here, I have beads that I got at Pride throughout the years. And that's really my only representation of my queer ancestors so far. I really want to get more pictures and everything on here. Really the only pictures that I have are over here, and they're like funeral things. What are they called? You know, like those little programs that you get at funerals, like obituary things or whatever. But that's really the only pictures I have right now. And then I have some old postcards over there too, because those are really cool. So just working from over here, I guess I have like an electric candle. Here I'm kind of cultivating a bone throwing set. Kind of, if you can see that, yeah. There's a bunch of stuff. We might talk about that later. Right here I have some little like pill bottles or pill holders or whatever, and just a bunch of other like spell things that I might use in spells. Like there's feathers and paper and a full like dried rose and whatnot, just all kinds of like random shit there. And like a weird little candle holder thing. Right here I have my pink glass rooster that represents to me my nanny rooster. She's wonderful. Hello, nanny. Here we have let's see if I can get it to focus. We have the zombie tarot, which is one of my favorite things ever. The art, if I can get it to focus, it's absolutely stunning. It's vintage, it's funny. My ancestors get a fucking kick out of it. They love it. They're kind of little shits like that. But they love that, so I keep that there. Again, there's those beads. Right here, this is just a incense burner. Here's my work in progress Granunos representation. It's a little statuette that I made out of air dry clay, and then these have like an armature of like wire. I kind of like dug them into his skull. Sorry about that, bud. And then I coated them in hot glue, so they're still flexible, but they have like this really cool texture, and I'm really excited to paint them. I kind of need to add a little more glue to this side because it's a little wimpy, but I think it's turning out really good. On the other side of the plant hanging down, I have a nice little cup of coffee for them. Sorry about that. That was kind of a jarring change. A little cup of coffee, just because I either make them like tea or coffee. Sometimes I make them cookies or something. I don't know. So there's that. Right here, I had like a little globe candle holder, but that burst. It was a wild ride. It was glass. It got a little warm. It was a wild time. But hanging from it are some pieces of jewelry that I either like got from family members or that represent. I think I got two of these. Okay, so this right here is a little locket that I got from my great uncle, and it was my great grandmother's. Yeah, I think it was my great grandmother's locket. This is a locket that I got when I went from 8th to 9th grade, and it was something that I think again, my great-grandmother gave it to my mother. Not this specific necklace, but like a little anchor necklace. She gave her one when she got out of 8th grade, just as a representation, kind of a coming of age type thing, and I thought that was very special. This odd little ribbon, it was for my great uncle's funeral. Not the same great uncle that gave me that necklace, but another one. And he was an avid hunter and trapper and fisher, and he always wore camo. So what he said once when he was alive, he said that he wanted everyone at his funeral to wear camo. So as a family, we got together and we all made these little ribbons that you could pin to your shirt if you couldn't find any funeral appropriate camo, which is a little bit more difficult than one might think. So there's that. Over here I have some candles in these like little cups. That one's just hanging out there. And then this is just a little like a light catcher thing that one of my family members, one of the older women in my family, she used to make these a lot. I just think it's pretty. She just thought it was pretty. It's cool. I love it. Here is my rabbit. I have rabbits all over my room. I love rabbits. As you can probably tell, I mean, running rabbit witchcraft. That's what we do here. Rabbits. But I think it's a very important figure for me because I feel that rabbits kind of work as a psychopomp of their own. They travel from they're burrowing animals. So what I'm saying is they function both underneath the earth and above the earth, and that is a very important symbol for me, and they're also heavily associated with witchcraft and hedge crossing. It's very, very important. It's a very important animal, very important symbol to me. And sitting underneath all those things is a rock. It's a cool rock that I found with my grandpa once. It was great. It was fun. Yeah, so there's that. I have some electric candles here and there. I'm gonna have a whole lot more electric candles soon because I am going to college and I can't have candles or incense or anything, so that's gonna be an interesting transition. But oh, also in this little chalice I have some broken mirror bits, which you know, I don't feel that they're particularly unlucky because, you know what, I'm a witch. I do what I want. I didn't break it on purpose. But I feel like they make for a cool, what's it called? Like a spell component. I think they'd make a cool spell component, so I kept them. Pried them out of the, probably not the safest way to do this, but I pried them out of the, compact that they had shattered in. It was a big, like, almost pallet thing that you could change out. It was weird. It was like a Mary Kay thing, but I dropped it and it broke, whatever. So there they are, hanging out on my altar. I think they're cool. There's lots of stuff like that. They also make for a really, like, cool kind of a trap, because they're all, like, facing themselves in there. Kind of a spirit trap kind of thing. So really anything that tries to come into this space that is not welcome, that is, like, wishing ill on me, it kind of gets trapped in there. And it's lots of pointy stuff, lots of, nasty stuff in there. Love that. And there's just a giant match poking out from it, because why not? I need a place to put that. Yeah, so, you know, we got incense, we have coffee, all that good stuff. I'm gonna stop rambling now because this is becoming like a 30-minute video, but yep, that's my altar so far. I'll probably make an update when there's more going on here, so, I hope you enjoyed this video, and, I'll see you later, lovey-doveys. Have a good day. Bye.